All right, what's going on, everybody? Let's see, second time around. I had to do something for P3D. I hadn't done anything in a while. Being that I'm not sure I'm going to have the opportunity to do anything again, figured now would be as good as time as any. This guy I have not flown in a while. The Vertex simulations Diamond DA-62, gorgeous airplane. Um, Diesel powered engines, and we're going to take her all the way up to Broken Bow, Oklahoma. Shouldn't be too far. I don't think. All right, so without further ado, I think this guy comes with some sort of a checklist. I think, perhaps, hopefully, it does not. Perfect. Let's see. I'll go ahead and shut the door here, though. Let's get that out of the way. Let's see. Master on. No, that for sure. Now, my only quirk or gripe, I guess you can say, to me. Now, I don't know. This may just be my settings, but it does seem a little on the blurry side. I'm not sure. Maybe that's the type of textures I'm using. I don't know. But if it looks blurry to you guys, that's because it definitely looks blurry to me. All right, well, get all this fired up here. Turn that off. We don't need that just yet. Alrighty, jump over here. Got that all loaded up. Oh, let's see. I'm going to see if I can get some sort of Vertex user guide. Perfect. You guys probably may see it pop up here. Oh. Fuel system, don't need that. Oh, where are you? Checklist. Actually, you guys probably saw that come up there. Try to find one here eventually. Config app. Maybe it's in my config app. I don't know. I don't know. Complete flight manual. Download the link. Perfect. That's awesome. Let's see here. All right. So we'll be following the actual checklist here. Try to, at least that's the plan. I guess instead of just adding one for the sim, they're like, you know what, screw it, I can download the manual. There you go. All right, bud, take care of yourself, man. We'll see you. All right, let's see what we got going on here from the top. Holy cow. All right, pre-flight inspection. I'll go through that. Oh, this is the detailed checklist here. 4-star checklist. All right. Avionics master off. Power lever idle. Let's see. Motor switch. Check to see that they're in auto, both in auto. Fuel pump, left and right. Check. Off. Left and right, they're both off. Alternators, check, both of them are on. Let's see, both are on. Electric master on, that's good, that's done. Alright, strobe lights should be on. Engine master on the left engine. Oh, let's see, left first. Alright, so left first, we should get some sort of glow plug annunciation since this is a diesel. Which, did you guys see that? I didn't see. Oh yeah, left glow on, alright. And press the start button. There's the fuel. Nope, these guys have to be on both sides. Alright, cool. Alright, there's the left engine. Alright, looks good there. And we'll just do the same for the right engine. Glow plugs on. Alright. Alright, avionics master on. Let's see, and trim test. Press the, I wonder if we can do the trim test. I'm kind of curious. Alright, so press the AP while commanding trim. Alright, should not. Alright, press the AP button. Okay. Electric trim should not operate either nose up or nose down. Alright, press to engage the AP button. Verify autopilot disconnects. Alright, and we'll set. Go ahead and set takeoff trim to takeoff. Ooh. Alright, let's see here. Taxi and pumps off. I'm just going to read ahead a little bit. Let's see, fuel selector. Alright. Alright, cool. Now, before we get started, I do need to make one adjustment, and this does help. So I'm using two separate joysticks depending on when I'm flying, right? So, like if I'm in like an Airbus or a Diamond or something, I'll normally use my Busmaster joysticks, like the T1000 or something. I mean, not the Terminator. It's not a Terminator, but you know, it's a joystick. Anyway, so I use that, and I also use my Cytec yoke. Now, problem with that is I have my trim. I have the trim set up for my my yoke, and not for the stick. So I'll go here. I go to trim. Trim up, trim down. Should be what, button 6 and button 9. Yeah, we don't need droppable objects. And okay. All right, perfect. All right, so we're looking good so far. And while we're in here, we'll just go ahead and set up. We're just going to do a simple direct to flight plan this evening. Nothing. I wonder if will it take my key command? Let's see, 9. Perfect. Awesome. And enter. Yeah, nothing insane on this. I'm just going to be a little simple jaunt to Oklahoma. All right. Let's go ahead and taxi, and we'll do a brake check as well. And do a quick brake check there. I do need to check to see if maybe... Okay. All right.
Kilo, Golf, Papa, Mike, automated weather observation. 2336 Zulu. Wind calm. Visibility greater than 20 miles.
A little too hot. All right, let's see here. First and foremost, let's go ahead and run, I think, let's see. Go ahead and see if we can perform an ECU test real quick. All right, we'll hold it there. All right. And we'll jump over here. Left engine. And ECUA. All right, perfect. So, double check my flight controls here. All right, so we'll go ahead and pop that landing light on, position light on, fill pumps both sides, and I'll go ahead and turn on the fuel heat, even though I'm pretty sure we're not going to need it. And second notch flaps. Takeoff position is that's checked. Alright, altimeter set. Alright, for takeoff checklist complete. And let's see if we can, I think it's like a non-towered airport. So we can make sure we announce our intentions and take the runway. Use this nose wheel steering. Alright, we'll go ahead and head out here. And just full power there. Yep, gonna see the load. That's fine. Alright, positive rate. Gear up. And flaps up. Alright, flaps up, gears up. And we'll make this turn to the northeast. Oh, of course, getting out of the Metroplex would be a little less than straightforward if we're doing this real world. Would probably have to let's make this turn. Should be good by right here. Here we go. We'd definitely have to make provisions around the thing trimmed out around the class Bravo. There's a pretty decent sized shelf around the area, so alright, let's see here. I'm going to get our flight director set up here for a 120 knot climb. And we'll set ourselves up for about 13. We'll do 13.5. 13,500, and oh, looks like we're about to intercept there. We'll kick a little. Blah, 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 blah. Kick it over just a little bit. There we go. Which normally isn't too big of a deal. It was just we just get clearance to the Class Bravo airspace, and that way it give us more. I mean, you can go around, but yeah, you're adding at least an hour to your trip. That's interesting there. Oops. Alright, I'll make a bit of a turn here. There we go. That's weird how it just does not want to paint it. Does not want to paint those textures down there. There's a couple of areas as well I've noticed here that doesn't want to behave. But I have to say I have yet to see a DA-62 out in the tarmac just yet. Possibly due to the fact that they're just so outrageously expensive. Pretty good climb rate though, getting about 1,400 foot per minute, and not bad at all. As far as engine management, I mean, pretty much for the most part, the ECUs handles the majority of the workload. Really not a whole lot to it. There's no mixture to worry about. Essentially just jump in and go. So we've got some vertical activity off to our left hand side, so we'll keep an eye out on that for sure. And pretty close to about 8,000 feet. I mean, whoops, 9,000 feet, sorry. Very, very predictable and stable flying airplane. I got maybe a couple of fingers on the joystick and it seems to respond quite nicely. Alright, 10,000 feet. I'm going to pull this oxygen out. Yeah, pop the autopilot on real quick. Let's see, everything looks good so far. Those fuel pumps that can go off. So the oxygen is active right now. We're currently using it. I guess it probably wouldn't hurt to turn this guy on as well. I'm pretty close to 13,000. But yeah, this thing is marketed to be more so like an SUV. Very expensive SUV, but an SUV nonetheless. Extremely simple to operate. The run-up procedure was pretty much what we did. Basically, what happens is the engine control unit goes through a test process. There's 2 engine control units, so it ramps up to about 1950 RPM, and does it for both the A and the B module, and that's pretty much it. Does it both sides, and you're ready to go. So not very involved at all as far as the process goes. And with the engine control system, it pretty much handles all of the minute tuning as far as propeller adjustment and everything else. Basically just full throttle and off you go. They're pretty nice. Honestly, I don't know why I don't fly this thing as much as I do. I think this is maybe the first time I've flown it in a couple months, actually. I think there is a bit of wing flex as well. I think. Actually, yeah, there is. I believe there is. It just turns out to be relatively smooth air this evening. And again, I say that. But yeah, I think if it could. Now, if you look in the, those of you who have, if you look in the Vertex configurator, there's a different set of textures I believe you can load with this. I'm not sure if I need to do some more homework on it, but I'm not sure if maybe those will in fact kind of sharpen things up just a little bit or not. But that's the only thing I'm missing in my. It just seems really blurry. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah. Let's see here. Let me see if I can. There we go. 90 Foxtrot. See if I can tighten that up just a little bit. And you know, just out of curiosity, as I was mentioning, the big feature of this particular airplane is how the engines are managed using the ECUs. Now, if that be the case, let's do this. Let's disengage the autopilot. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I want to see the left engine on this airplane is the critical engine, so we're going to do this here. We're going to flick off the left engine. Okay, a little rudder. Wow. Automatically feathered the engine. That's awesome. Holy cow. That's the type of reactivity you want when you lose an engine. You want those props feathered immediately. Oh man, that's awesome. That is awesome. Master back on, and there she is. Beautiful. Yeah, that was very, very impressive. Hence, is why I think this thing runs for it's a, what, 1 point something million dollars. It's very, very expensive, but the amount of technology they pack in this thing it's amazing. It is amazing. Now we can do the same thing to the right engine as well. So we'll go ahead and flick off the master. There's the right engine. A little bit rudder, a little bit left rudder, and it's feathered. Still very solid on the controls. Let me get myself a little, there we go. So kind of a little more coordinated than that. There we go. All right, now we're going to flick it back on. There we go. put her back on auto and yeah, I've got a little bit of a coolant temp warning there on the right engine. That's because we just shut it down, so it should get with them. I'll get back in parameters here shortly. As far as the model is concerned, the model is very well done. Now here's in my, I don't know. I guess it's not really a dilemma, but it's kind of depends on you look at it. Depends on how you look at it, I guess. But AKRacing also has a version of the DA-62. Those of you who own both, let me know how. Let me know what you think about it, because I've been tempted to purchase the AKRacing version for X-Plane as well. Vertex is apparently the company came out of the ashes of rise from the ashes. No, but apparently there's one of the developers from was it Real Air or Real Sim? One of those, the same guys who did the legendary Beechcraft turboprop powered Duke. That graced Virtual Skies for quite a while. Apparently he came up with Vertex, and it was actually it was quite immediate. It was, wow, still company Vertex, and then bam, he dropped this. He dropped this on us, and I haven't ever heard anything since. So it's kind of weird. I don't know. But I mean, just phenomenal model. And if this thing flies anything like the actual airplane, well worth the million or so quid for it. Now, practicality, that's debatable, especially when you have something like we can pick between, maybe, I don't know what's in that range, maybe a TBM, maybe a Pilatus, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it's in that price range, I'm not sure. Heck, actually the Pilatus might be a little more expensive, but when you start talking upwards of $1 million for any piston-driven airplane, whether it's diesel-powered or avgas or whatever the type of reciprocating piston, still a piston nonetheless. So I don't know. I put myself in that. If I just happen to be a millionaire, and would I, if this was, would I purchase something like this? And I mean, as far as this thing has another row of seats. Armrest there. And it looks quite comfortable from back here, actually. It's kind of it's like the ports for your headsets. So I don't know. Especially when you, I don't know. Would it be nice? Absolutely. But I guess at the end of the day, it really just depends on your mission, what you're trying to do, what you're looking to accomplish, how many people you're trying to carry, how far you're trying to carry them, all these things, and whether you want one or two engines. Um, you might be able to, which you probably could. You can probably get into a single engine turboprop for right around a million. Multi-engine turboprop, yeah, you probably could, but maybe maybe a little older or something like that. So, if it's a situation where, from a safety, perspective, if you feel more comfortable with two engines, then yeah, this may be something. This may be something to entertain. But it just kind of depends. I'll say this: I have yet to see one of these in person yet, and lately I've been flying quite often. I've seen 42s, but not 62 yet, so. Doing a little scud running, completely illegal without an IFR flight plan, but that's another reason why I haven't dealt with P3D a whole lot here lately. Lately, I've been getting a lot of just random flickering. I'm not sure what that is. Nor have I really taken a whole lot of time to troubleshoot, but I mean, sim looks great, just flickers, so it's kind of a little aggravating. Yeah, let's see, looks like we're about 70 miles. I mean, extremely quick. And let's see your fuel burn. What's our fuel burn looking like? About 7.1, 7.2. So what? 14.3 gallons an hour. I mean, yeah. No, not terrible. Not terrible at all. And of course, you can't lean it out or do anything. Maybe might be some individuals who prefer having that level of authority over how the airplane performs, rather trusting all of the fine tuning to the engine control units. But I mean, I'll say it's doing a fairly decent job. But yeah, going back to the flickering, just recently started. Actually, I may end up rolling back my video card drivers and video car drivers and see if that helps at all. And let's see here, about what, 56 miles out. Ground speed of 109 knots. Alright, so we could probably get a little bit more out of her. Probably get about 200 knots ground speed, but not much more than that. So right now about 83% engine load. Engine gearbox. Endurance range. Total time in service. Look at that, guys. 0.7. Yeah, I feel horrible. I feel terrible. Terrible, I say. This is a really good airplane. Really good airplane. It's almost one of those type of airplanes. This guy at the airport I always talk to. It's one of those big picture airplanes, so it takes out all the guesswork and allows you to kind of focus more on the big picture. But you know, in hindsight, you know, these are, all this technology is great, but at the same time, it can, you know, lead to a false sense of one day I'll be able to talk. No, false sense of security. And lead to problems, but all right, so we'll go ahead and start bringing that altitude down a little bit. And we'll toss her in vertical speed mode. Yeah, let's see here. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see. I think I have to forget how to engage control steering. Let's see if it'll let me. There we go, control steering. So one of the another feature that's pretty nice on this thing is control steering. So what it is, it's almost kind of like a pseudo fly-by-wire kind of sort of maybe, but basically what it does, it allows you to make changes in various stages of flight using the flight controls, and it for the most part holds it. I think a lot of us are familiar with controllable steering in like the 737 and large airplanes like that, so it's very unusual to see it in a general aviation aircraft. About 500 foot per minute there. I can probably get away with 1,000 actually. And one more down. There we go. And as you can see, you do drop in pressure there as you use oxygen, so something to keep in mind, which you can go for quite a ways, I believe. Yeah, about 37 miles out. Got a little wind shift there. Yeah, I'll probably bring the power back a little more. Alright, below 9,000 feet there. I'm going to turn off the oxygen and we'll go ahead and turn on this old landing light. And we've got the controls there. I was just thinking it would have been kind of nice to maybe have some sort of maybe like a little light load manager to add passengers and distribute weight. I mean, you can do it in the sim there, but it would be kind of nice to do that in there. The only thing I would be kind of concerned about, and not so much concerned, but kind of wary, is the T-tail design and the stall characteristics would be kind of interesting. Now, sorry to keep flipping flipping back and forth, but I did see how they kind of added this little downward angle towards the tip of the elevator, so maybe perhaps that's to mitigate some of the issues with T-tailed aircraft and deep stalls, but I don't know. I hadn't heard any problems with it yet, so I'm sure they've worked out a lot of the kinks. Looks like there's broken bow off our 12 o'clock there. And let's see, what was that, 19 miles out now. Go ahead and set our altitudes. We're pretty close to TPA. I don't know if this thing has any sort of weather information or what. Nope. may just have to cross midfield or something like that to kind of see what's going on. Looking for the airport. Should be coming up here on 12 o'clock. I believe that one to our 2 o'clock is just a different airport. Actually, yeah, that's a different airport. And in terms of GPS distances, once you get around 15 to 10 miles, probably want to start looking for the airport, since your distance will never be zero, if that makes sense. So you can be 5 miles out and around top of it. Especially if you're flying like a VR approach or using distance measuring equipment, that's even more true. Alright, it's kind of peeking over here. Looking at my distance, should be getting close, about 10 miles out. I think that's the airport right over there. We're gonna try to zoom in and see. See if I can kind of get an idea where this thing is. Might be, I think it's over there, yeah. And about 7 miles out. 5 miles out. I believe the airport's right there. Yep. And we'll probably set up for a right downwind. Just basing it off the winds we see here. Our little display. Now there will be a little bit of a skew due to the Coriolis effect, but I think it should get us favorable winds there. Alright, so we'll go ahead and start that downwind leg. Go ahead and turn on those fuel pumps on both sides. Go ahead and use power a little bit and go ahead and bring the gear down. Alright, gear down, 3 green. Try to keep this base leg as tight as possible. I'm gonna throw just a bit of flaps in there. I think I overshot just a little bit. I think I did at least. Oh no. And go with the flaps in landing position. Don't have ample amount of real estate, so want to make it count here.
500.
All right. Poppy's in sight. And we're just gonna hold this here. sure we clear those trees. Alright, gonna start dropping a little altitude here. Keeping an eye on our speed. Alright, looking good there. Gonna start creeping that nose up just a little bit. Work the power out. Work the power out. And we're idle. Hold it back, hold it back. Alright. Alright. Keep some back pressure there. On that stick, help us slow down. Alright. Looking good. Excellent. Alright, let's see if we can clear the taxiway here. Oh, gotta make a 180. Alright, and taxi light is on. I'm just going to go ahead and leave the taxi and landing lights on. Time being. Leave them on for the time being, and we'll exit the runaway environment. Now we'll go ahead and start cleaning up though. I guess that's as far as it goes. I don't know. We're just gonna get a little soft field action here, because this is not a large airport. But no, maybe it's my rudder pedals. I don't know. It seems to be overly touchy. All right. And I can't see anything. And I got some floodlights. Here we go. Alright, so parking brake, anyone? Is that the parking brake? I don't know. I can't tell. Alright, so go ahead and turn off nav master, pitot heat. Fuel pumps off. Lighting allow, taxi light off. And engines off. And yeah, didn't hit anything, so it's always good. Excellent. Alright guys, I guess that is going to be it for me for tonight. Appreciate you guys jumping in, and I hope you guys have a great work week, and we'll see you later.